Hi YouTube. Hi. So, Hungrybox is considering retiring from Smash. At least that's what he said in his Twitter and his YouTube video. Now, I don't necessarily think this is very likely, and I'm going to talk about why, but I think this is a great opportunity to kind of talk about why someone would compete, what are the problems with it, what's the good parts about it, and delve a little bit deeper into the top competitor mindset of why you keep doing this even though you're already at the top, or why you could be streaming. Because much like Hungrybox, I also have this opportunity, right, where I could just focus on streaming and probably make a bit more money doing it, but yet I choose to compete, and I think he as well will choose to compete at some point. So let's just get started. But before that, hi, consider subscribing. There's like 70% of you don't subscribe to the channel. I don't know why. You watch this anyway. You don't watch this? Then why are you hearing this right now? Subscribe. That's all I'm saying. All right, so Hbox has tweeted that after losing, I think this is pretty important to give the context. Hbox got his worst placement since 2007, and right after tweeted that Melee's not making me happy for the first time in a long time. Win or lose, it might be what Armada felt. It feels like the stress, in parentheses, losing games, or not stress / neutral, winning games. Basically, like it doesn't feel worth it to win those games because if you lose, it feels way worse. Never felt this way before. Maybe take a break until IRL tournaments come back. I don't know. Now, he also made videos on this, and he tweeted some more. Like, do I want to keep playing Melee? Citing the pain. And honestly, I think this video was quite a bit over dramatic, at least to my taste, and it feels like he plays it up quite a bit in my opinion, especially considering that apparently people in chat are saying that he just tweeted that he's 100% not retiring from Melee, which is like, could have led with that. Could have led with that. When this video was released, when he showed it on stream, we watched it live, he did not mention that he's 100% not retiring. You know, that's just how you get clicks these days, I guess, but I guess I shouldn't complain. If you're getting clicks like that, then I can use that with no shame in my mind. No, but basically, I think that Hbox has kind of had to reconsider why he competes, and online tournaments simply are not the same, right? Like they aren't. They're similar in many ways, and people that are good at offline tournaments are, you know, usually very, very good at online tournaments as well. Not to mention that Melee now has rollback, it's getting spectator support soon, it's getting constant updates, so the level of Melee is higher now than it has ever been. And so I think that it is a really good time to play Melee for some people, but I can also understand why Hungrybox, who's gotten a lot of subscribers and a lot of money from playing Ultimate, I can really understand why he wants to play more Ultimate because of that. You know, there's nothing wrong with changing the money. A lot of people, if they have two similar jobs, right? McDonald's and Burger King, and Burger King pays 3 times as good, even if the online's shit, a lot of people will still choose that 3 times as much money kind of deal. You know, I played Ultimate before. I played Grand Blue and Dragon Ball. I think taking a break from Melee when you feel like you need it is really, honestly, just healthy, and I don't blame him for that at all. Taking a break from online tournaments especially, and coming back from IRL tournaments makes a lot of sense. We'll see how long that takes, and I have a suspicion that Hungrybox will eventually start entering online tournaments again, because it's simply going to take a very long time due to current events being quite bad over in America. And here's the thing, right? Like, everyone competes for a different reason, and competing is kind of a hell. It's really, really rough to compete. Like, some of you guys might say, well, you get to play your favorite game of all time, and you get to have fans, and you get to make money doing it. Like, on the outside, I get why people want to do this, but first off, you need to realize that every person has their own, like, relates mostly to themselves. So for us, like for me, for Hungrybox, and, you know, other top players, we could also be streaming and playing our favorite game, or a game we really like, while just streaming it without the stress of having to compete, without the stress of having to travel, to be called washed if we lose, and so on. And that's kind of what you're weighing against. You're not weighing working at McDonald's or being a pro Melee pro, you know, being the best Melee player. You're weighing Melee, you know, competitively, or streaming. That's what you're comparing. the thing that makes me feel a little less that this is completely understandable for Hungrybox is that this all came out from Hungrybox, this video where he cites the pain, the suffering that Melee's caused him. It came out right after he has underperformed 2 tournaments in a row. And, you know, he didn't really excuse himself too much other than saying that he had been playing a lot of Ultimate, which I know a lot of people also gave him that excuse. I wish I had gotten that excuse when I played Ultimate and played Ultimate at the same tournaments. I never got that many people joining for me when I was playing Ultimate at the same tournament and lost early. People kind of went hard for me, and they definitely did not give me credit when I placed like top 3 every single tournament while also competing in Ultimate. But you know, I think Hungrybox says, honestly, you know, some people might say I'm biased, but I think Hungrybox, you know, from knowing him a lot of time, talking to a lot of other people that know him, I think many people would say that he's an expert at pitting himself as the victim. I'm not going to go into too much details, but this has definitely been the case before. Maybe I'll talk more about that on my stream. Follow my stream if you want to talk about that, but I don't think YouTube and this short video is the place for that. The reason why I feel a bit weird about his announcement to do this is because he's now gone back on it and said he's not retiring 100%. So it feels like he kind of farmed the attention, and like, here's the thing, the tournament where he lost and got 13th is not over. Like Laud and Wizrobe, who beat him and got him, you know, sent home at 13th. Well, sent home, you're already home. They're still in top 8. They're waiting to play right now. And so for me, this feels, maybe this is a bit harsh of a take, but this feels a little bit like trying to make it all about himself when he couldn't stand on the top 8 stage. Like he can't be in the center of attention for top 8s, which again, I think it's a completely fine motivation. And so instead, he's kind of pulling this whole workaround where he's like, might quit Melee. Oh no, I'm not quitting Melee. Calm down, guys. To kind of be in the center of attention once more. So that kind of ticks me off a little bit. Maybe that's not true, but that's my honest opinion on it. And you know me, I'm always going to try to be honest. Maybe this is me being biased, but yeah, that's just what I feel. I think it would have been much better to just let the emotions settle a little bit. I know myself, I've been very salty and very illogical after a tough loss. Getting 13th, like his worst placement, I'm sure that would have been very heavy on my mental toll as well. And losing while streaming is extremely rough because you basically have like thousands of people telling you, oh no, you played great. Oh yeah. Oh, great match, Hungrybox, great match. But yeah, I would have preferred for him to be a bit more open about it, think things through, so it doesn't look, at the very least, look like he's trying to do this for attention. And, you know, let the tournaments, let the people that beat him kind of get the attention rather than him trying to take it back already. But that said, I think it's very, very understandable that not wanting to compete and taking a break, very understandable. Again, competing is hell. It's absolute hell. You have to travel, you have to, like, just think about it. You go to Summit, there's like 16, 18 people. You know, there's some people that go there for the practice, but a lot of people, at least like 8, 10, 15 people, all think that they can win. They have to do. You have to think that you will win, or at least have a strong chance to win. Or if you don't think that you could win, why would you ever put so much time into trying to practice hour in, sacrifice a ton of things? Like, why would you do this if you don't think that you could win? Again, we're not really doing this for the money. We're not really doing this because we can't make a living any other way. Most of the top Melee players could be streamers instead. Not all of them, but a lot of them, especially the ones that have been around for a while. And so you need a very, very strong reason to compete. And I think that reason can be very personal. For me, you know, to me, it's just that I love Melee. I want to keep pushing it to the absolute limit. And I think that while I enjoy playing other games, for me, I don't think I've ever really like been pushed as hard or learned as much about myself from anything other than Melee. Like, it's taught me so much about myself. And here's the thing, even when I lose, and you will lose most of the time, right? Like, there's maybe one person at any given time that can win slightly more than 50%, but even then, you usually feel a bit worse than you do when you win. So you need this deep burning desire that kind of keep the hell flames away. I think that's how they described it, Hajime no Ippo. Which honestly feels true. That, like, why would you go through this insane pressure, like the stress, the fear of being called washed up if you lose a single game? Why would you go through with this just to play a video game when you could be playing the video game and earn more money for free just by sitting at your home and playing low stakes matches. And everyone has their own reason. To me, that has always been the reason, you know, wanting to push myself. And, you know, I just love the game a lot. I want to play against the best players. And I just enjoy the process of sitting down, practicing something, then bringing it up in tournament. Like that feeling, practicing something, beating someone you've lost to several times in a row, it's just irreplaceable for me. And even when I lose, at the end of the day, when I get a little bit of distance to it, I always reason it like this to myself. Melee and competing, it's just such a high, and it just makes me feel so fucking alive. Like that, it sounds corny as shit. I know, chill. It makes me feel alive. Like I hate losing so deeply, and I love winning so much that like I can't see myself just going back and working a regular job. Even just streaming. If I stream for like a year straight, I kind of start wondering like, what's the point, right? Like, what am I doing this for? What's the end goal? How am I growing as a person? It's kind of, you know, like you're not progressing. It's like an RPG where you're not progressing at all. And you're not getting those highs. And that's what I felt like. I had a good job, but I couldn't take it. A lot of people that I know, they work the same job that I do and they have a great time. They can work this their entire life, but every day I just felt my mind like rotting. And every time I play like Ultimate Online, I feel the same way, man. I feel my mind, it's just rotting every single day. I cannot do it, and I cannot play Ultimate Online tournaments. Even though I know it would earn me more money. I don't know. You only live once, man. I want to play Melee and enjoy my life rather than make a little bit more money that I couldn't spend when I die anyway. That's kind of my thoughts on those situations and a bit of my own experience on why I compete and why I do this. Yeah, subscribe, tune in, like the videos, and so on. And I'll see you guys soon. Bro.